Henry Thompson had lived a long life built on trust, love, and loyalty. 50 years of marriage with his wife, Margaret, had shaped his world. They had raised children together, celebrated milestones, endured hardships, and shared countless memories. Henry had always believed that loyalty was the heartbeat of a marriage, and he lived by it. But one ordinary Thursday, that trust shattered. Henry returned home earlier than expected from his volunteer work at the local community center. He loved his routine: morning coffee with Margaret, a brief walk in the garden, and long evenings discussing books or the news. That day, however, he noticed the living room slightly out of place. The blanket on the sofa wasn't folded, and a chair was slightly moved from its usual spot. Margaret greeted him with a warm smile, but there was something different in her eyes: nervousness, hesitation, a flicker of guilt. Henry didn't understand at first. He simply set down his bag and asked, "Everything okay, Margaret?" She hesitated, then smiled faintly. "Yes, dear. Just a little busy today." Henry nodded and went to the kitchen to grab some tea. But as he walked past the hallway, he saw a piece of paper peeking from beneath the table, a receipt dated yesterday, with a name he didn't recognize. Curiosity turned to unease. Something wasn't right. That night, Henry's instincts told him to speak up. "Margaret, may I ask you something?" he began, his voice calm but firm. "Is there something you've kept from me?" Margaret's eyes widened. She looked down, fidgeting with her hands. "Henry, I didn't know how to tell you." Henry's heart tightened. 50 years. Every shared laugh, every hardship endured together. Could it really be ending this way? Finally, Margaret confessed. A secret relationship that had begun months ago. A fleeting connection born from loneliness and unmet emotional needs. Henry listened quietly, the weight of decades pressing down on him. He didn't yell. He didn't beg. He simply asked, "Why now, Margaret? After all these years?" Tears streamed down her face. I felt invisible. I didn't know how to reach out. I didn't want to hurt you." Henry felt a pang of sorrow, not just for himself, but for the life they had built together. He realized then that love wasn't only about passion or excitement, it was about understanding, patience, and empathy. That night, he made a choice. He didn't scream or humiliate her. He didn't betray her back. He chose dignity, clarity, and self-respect. "Margaret," he said softly, "we have a lifetime of memories. I cannot undo what has been done, but I can decide how I move forward. Trust, once broken, can't be the same. I need space to heal." Over the next weeks, Henry stayed with his son's family, allowing both himself and Margaret time to reflect. They communicated sparingly, but honestly. Margaret expressed remorse every day, understanding that loyalty is not a convenience, it's a lifelong commitment. Slowly, Henry realized something profound. Life, even after betrayal, doesn't have to be defined by anger. He focused on his own well-being, on friendships, on passions he had long neglected. He found peace in walking the dog through familiar streets, in gardening, and in quiet evenings filled with books and music. One afternoon, Margaret visited him with a single bouquet of daisies, the flowers they had planted together when they first married. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She simply said, "I hope one day you find peace, Henry. I know I've caused you pain." Henry smiled faintly, feeling the weight lift slightly from his chest. "I already am," he replied. "Peace isn't about forgetting, it's about choosing dignity and learning from life's hardest lessons." Years later, when people asked Henry how he endured heartbreak at such a late age, he would say, "Life is long. Betrayal hurts. But dignity, self-respect, and compassion carry you farther than anger ever could. Moral: trust is fragile, especially after decades of love. When betrayal strikes, the strongest response is not revenge, but grace, dignity, and the courage to heal yourself first.